I'm Dana. Welcome to Made Every Day. My kids love to eat ice pops in the summertime, but they're often complaining about how cold their fingers get. So I made these simple little ice pop cozies that go right inside, and now it keeps their little fingers warm. So let's make some. This probably seems like a silly thing to sew, but I can't tell you how many times my daughter has whined to me about how cold her fingers are as she's eating her ice pop, which, hey, some good things in life require sacrifices. But she is 4 years old, and she's not very good at keeping a napkin around it, so I created these little holders with 2 layers of fabric, and now everybody is happy. Here's what you need. Scraps of fleece fabric, and ice pops, of course. I have my cutting mat, my ruler, and my rotary cutter, and I want to cut 2 pieces of fabric, 2.5 by 4 inches. Now, if your ice pops happen to be significantly skinnier than that, then you can just cut your fabric a little skinnier. Just do whatever works for your particular special ice pops. My kids actually like Italian ice pops, which have awesome flavors like kiwi and lemonade. Okay, I cut mine in a long strip that's 2.5 inches wide, and then I'm gonna cut it into the 2 4-inch pieces. So let's come over here and make my edge straight, just like that. Rotary cutters are awesome for getting really straight lines. Then I'm turning it this way and lining up with my 4 inches, cut like that. There's not really a right or wrong to this project. Okay, let's go to our sewing machine. I'm just threading my machine here. Follow along all the markings on your machine. And I'm using white thread. It actually really doesn't matter what color you use because when you sew with fleece, it's so thick that you don't even really see the thread color, is what I have noticed. Okay, when I get to here, I press my favorite little button and it threads my needle for me. I love my baby lock machine for that reason. Okay, now I'm also going to increase my stitch length over here to about, I don't know, a 4. I just find that with fleece, tiny stitches seem to just make the machine go a little too slow through the fabric. Go to your machine. I'm using about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then do a forward and back stitch. Sew right down. This is probably like the easiest project you will ever make. Now you have to start making them for your friends. In fact, I was thinking the other day that a really cute gift idea would be to make a bunch of these and package them up with some ice pops and give them to a neighbor. Okay, let's sew the other side. Forward and back stitch, all the way down, another back stitch, cut your threads. I love that cutting feature as well. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's just trim our threads. And I also like to just kind of trim the seam allowance here, just to make it look nice in case anything's shifted while you were sewing. Okay, cut that. And we're done. Now let's say you're gonna make a bunch at once, which you're probably gonna do. I've already cut some out here, and a really easy way to sew them together is to grab your first one, forward and back stitch, sew right down, forward and back stitch, then grab your next one, and you don't even have to lift your presser foot. Well, you might lift your presser foot, this fabric's a little thick. But just start sewing the next one. But remember to do a forward and back stitch at the beginning and end of each of your lines. Little back stitch, grab your next one, stick it under. This is kind of a trick I learned from quilters when they're sewing a bunch of pieces that have to be sewn the exact same way. Back stitch, let's do our last one here. Lift it up. There we go. Okay, back stitch, all the way down, another back stitch, cut my threads. Okay, so we've got our little chain of ice pop holders. Looks like a little garland, cute. Now sew the other side. I think my kids are gonna be really happy that I'm making more since they really do love to eat ice pops. In fact, it's my husband who's the instigator of it all. He makes me buy a box each time I go to the grocery store. And he's the one asking the kids, hey, who wants an ice pop? Okay, we're almost to the end here. And there you go. Now let's just cut all of our threads, trim the edges. And you know, the great thing about using fleece fabric for these is that when they get messy, and I say when, because you know that's gonna happen, getting all drippy and stuff like that, well, you can just throw them in the washing machine with your stuff. And And they're all ready to go for the next little treat. Okay, there you go. Let's try them out on our Ice Pops and see how they look. Our little Ice Pop just fits right inside. And the great thing about this is that it can move up and down as you need. For more ideas and tutorials, visit my website, madeeveryday.com. And for more information on sewing machines, go to babylock.com, where it's all for the love of sewing. I am gonna go show these to my kids. I think they're gonna like them. Bye.